In the headlines, Kaduna State Government directs emergency action on diphtheria following deaths of 6 children. Low turnout of passengers at Abuja Motor Park due to fuel price hike. Former Minister of Aviation Stella Odua and others arraigned over 5 billion naira fraud. And on the foreign scene, Guinea-Bissau opposes teachers' pay to weed out fictitious workers. Hello there, good evening and welcome to Trust News Update. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Now, following the deaths of at least 6 people, mainly children, from a strange disease believed to be diphtheria, the Kaduna State Government has ordered an emergency action to stop further spread of the disease across the state. 12 others hospitalized following the outbreak of the disease in Kafanchang, Jema local government area of Kaduna State, according to the latest report. A statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the State Governor, Muhammad Shehu, says the diphtheria disease occurred in the 3 wards of the local government area, including Takau, Kafanchang A and Kafanchang B. Shehu explained that the disease broke out 2 weeks ago after some residents started exhibiting symptoms that include difficulty in breathing, high fever, cough, general body weaknesses, sore throat and swelling of the neck. The statement says the index case was a 4-year-old boy whose illness started on July 4th but died after 48 hours, while 5 out of 17 new cases later died within the 3 wards of Jemaah local government area. 12 others are presently on admission in a hospital following the loss of lives in the affected communities. Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Obasani, has directed the State Ministry of Health to send an emergency team to investigate the cases and ensure the movement of affected cases to adequately equipped hospitals for permanent management, active contact tracing and intensive community sensitization in all affected areas and across the communities. Here in Abuja, Jabi Motor Park is recording low passenger turnout. Union members say fuel price hike left them with no option than to increase their transport fares. Noel Samson visited one of the parks and now reports.
The Jabi Motor Park is usually a beehive of activities with passengers coming to board vehicles for long-distance travels. But the recent fuel price hike has changed all that. The park is looking empty as few passengers who can afford the fares are seen waiting for the vehicles they are boarding to get the required number of persons to begin the journey. Taiwo Oshobu is the chairman of Bus Long Journey, bus unit and the park, and he speaks on the low passenger traffic.
From 5:40 to 6:17 now, it's totally out of hand. No passenger. One motor can position for 3 days, no passengers. No passenger. For 3 days, no passengers. From here to Lagos, I think we are carrying 19,200 naira. Before the subsidy, we carry 15,000. After the subsidy, we carry 19,200 naira. Since it came to 617, we have not even increased.
However, passengers also have this to say concerning the low passenger traffic since the increment of fuel price.
Before, by this time, people will have been here, be traveling, but because of this increment of petrol, nobody wants to travel. If not because I came to Abuja to do some important thing, I won't come. Me too, I won't bother myself to travel because I know it will cost me a lot. The
cost of transportation will definitely reduce. People will now consider, instead of them traveling regularly, someone that is traveling every week, the person might decide to extend it for 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so it depends.
Small business owners at the park are also lamenting low patronage owing the low activities.
That don't affect my market. You see me for shop, I sit down for shop. If you say like before, I'm busy. I don't have time to stay one place.
Well, thank God. I won't say I don't make more sales as I used to, but honestly, before now, I make more sales. Transport fares were doubled when the fuel subsidy was removed, but the second bomb price hike may further change the dynamics at this motor park. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And in Oyo State, the organized labor has warned of an imminent industrial strike action if issues bordering on its welfare are not urgently addressed. The group made the call in Ibadan during an emergency Congress meeting to address matters affecting the welfare of its members, especially with the increment in the price of petrol. While addressing newsmen, the chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress in the state, Comrade Kayode Martin, says the unions feel the excruciating pains of Nigerians, especially the state citizens, in the face of the fuel subsidy removal, with a clarion call on government at all levels to put the interests of ordinary Nigerians on the front burner. Labour wants authorities to address issues bordering on salary deductions, palliatives for workers, continued payment of pensions, formalization of recently promoted state workers, and continued payment of retired workers' gratuities, or risk a total shutdown on July 24th.
The effect of subsidy removal as is being done in all other states. The cost of living has gone up, and it has really made life difficult for the entire masses. As of today, we can tell you that workers find it difficult to resume at the respective offices because of the financial hardship. So we demand that all these things be done between now and Monday morning. Otherwise, we can no longer guarantee industrial harmonies in the states.
UC and NLC, we have made our position on this known properly. We were never against the removal of fuel subsidy, but we were saying that while you want to do that, there must be consultation and on how it will be done in such a way that it will have human face to it, in such a way that it will not make life very terrible for people. Just 48 hours ago, it was 500 naira. Today now, it is 600, 700, and the prices are going up. So we were not against fuel subsidy removal, but we have asked the government, let's come together to see how life will be better for the people while you do what you want to do.
Now, former Minister of Aviation Sela Odua and others on Friday pleaded not guilty to a 5 billion naira fraud charge preferred against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Senator Odua and 8 others were arraigned by the EFCC before Justice Iyang Ekwo of a Federal High Court in Abuja. Justice Ekwo fixed the date after counsel that appeared for EFCC, Hassan Liman, SAN, prayed the court to allow the defendants to take their plea, having filed the charge against them since December 17, 2020. Others arraigned alongside the ex-lawmaker and minister who represented Anambra North Senatorial District at the 9th National Assembly, were Gloria Odita, Nwosu Emmanuel Namdi, and Chukuma Irene Chinyere. Global Offshore and Marine Limited, Tip Top Global Resource Limited, Crystal Television Limited, Sobora International Limited, and others were also arraigned. Odua was arraigned on alleged 5 billion naira fraud and financial misappropriation while she served as minister under the Jonathan administration. In the 25-count charge bordering on conspiracy, money laundering, and maintaining anonymous bank accounts with a commercial bank. Now, President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that he will focus on providing adequate security to all citizens and parts of Nigeria. The Nigerian president also says Nigeria and the neighboring countries in the Lake Chad region must display courage in reforming their military doctrine and practices. He said this at the graduation ceremony of Senior Course 45 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji in Kaduna on Friday. This is the report.
President Tinubu, while speaking at the graduation ceremony, promised that his administration will deploy the entire machinery of state power to ensure the security of lives and property of the Nigerian people. He also pledged more support for the military as he commended them for protecting the territorial integrity of the nation.
We must also be brave enough to reform military doctrine and practice. We do not face a conventional army on the traditional field of battle. No, we contend against mobile, elusive, irregular forces that disdain the normal rule of warfare.
President Tinubu, who also congratulates the graduating officers, described the military officers serving Nigeria as the best group of people out of the over 200 million citizens of the country. The president assured the public that the armed forces under his administration will be well equipped to enable them to discharge their responsibilities of protecting the lives and property of the citizens both internally and globally.
Your nation has invested in you and your training. Much faith has been placed upon your broad soldiers. Our collective safety rests in your hands. We believe in you because we know you possess the sufficiency of character and skill to see us through challenges.
The commandant of the college, Air Force Marshal Hai Alhaji, explained that the 291 students completed the 48 weeks intensive training leading to the award of Past Staff Course, PSC.
A total of 291 students will be awarded the distinction of Past Staff Course today. These include 152 Nigerian Army officers, 68 Nigerian Navy officers, and 45 officers of the Nigerian Air Force.
President Tinubu presented PSC certificates and awards to selected graduates as well as the best graduating students.
Still staying with security, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has disclosed that the Nigerian Air Force is expecting 51 additional platforms to boost counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations across the country. The Chief of Air Staff stated this while addressing officers and men during his maiden tour of NAF units in Makurdi, Benue State. According to a statement on Friday by NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, he noted that the acquisition of additional platforms will bolster training, air power employment and projection. According to the Chief of Air Staff, the platforms are expected to include 2 Augusta 109 Trekker multi-role helicopters, 2 Beechcraft King Air 360, 3 Diamond DA-62 surveillance aircraft, and 6 T-129 attack helicopters. Other pending acquisitions include 2 CASA 295 medium airlift and surveillance aircraft, 12 AH-1Z, attack helicopters, and 24 M346 attack aircraft. He added that all the acquisitions demonstrate the federal government's commitment to equipping the Nigerian Air Force for the safe conduct of training and agile air power employment to meet the nation's security challenges. Speaking further, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar stated that the Nigerian Air Force would continue to enhance cooperation and jointness as part of a whole-of-nation approach to quickly resolve the security challenges bedeviling Nigeria. He also enjoined the personnel to cooperate with other services and security agencies to meet the high expectations of Nigerians on the armed forces, as well as restore peace and security and ensure a safe and prosperous nation. While you're watching the news update on Trust TV, still to come. Cattle market traders lament low patronage. We have details of this and many more coming up ahead after the break. Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us on Trust News Update. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. The Kaduna State government has directed an emergency action on diphtheria in the state following the death of 6 children. Low turnout of passengers at Motor Park in Abuja due to a price hike of petrol. Now, most streets in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, remain in a dilapidated state, especially during the rainy season. Jimmy Azande reports that residents are complaining and calling on the government of the state to act fast, as many communities will be cut out from the rest of the state capital. Here's the report.
Whenever it rains, Makurdi streets and roads in the state capital become death trap for motorists like this popular new Otukpo road. This is the situation in many other areas, as explained by some residents of Makurdi.
Especially during rainy season. If you come to Makurdi, the few streets that are tied, they are already spoiled. I don't know what the government is doing, because Makurdi as a metropolitan city in Benue State need to have standard roads. That even the road constructed in Makurdi don't have standard. I think that's why when it comes to rainy season, water will spoil everything. Because Makurdi is in a valley. So if you are building a road where it is a valley, then you should know the standard you are giving to that road.
The road has been bad for so long, and government is not giving much attention on them. Government has neglected the local roads, especially the feeder roads in Makurdi. And when you will see that during rainy season, you will find it very difficult even to move from other even within the state, because if you see the condition of roads, they are very deplorable.
Some of the residents are, however, hopeful that Governor Hyacinth Alia will give the state capital a facelift.
It is very, very bad. When rains, you will not be able to at least troop to some places because of the bad position of some of the road. But I believe the government of Hyacinth Alia, and in collaboration with the government of Tinubu, will set everything in order. And Benue State too will look as if it's a state capital.
Apart from the flooding, some streets are now death traps due to total neglect or substandard construction in the past. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Elsewhere, traders at Nguru Cattle Market say their businesses are threatened by shrinking capital and low customer patronage from neighboring countries like Chad and Niger Republic. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibril, who recently visited one of the oldest cattle markets in Yobe, tells us more.
Hundreds of traders from across the Federal Republic of Nigeria and beyond attend this cattle market in Nguru local government area of Yobe State on weekly basis. Cattle and other domestic animals are traded here in large volume. Its popular camel market tells a story of how merchants from around the world are trading here for generations.
If I can recall some 50 so years, people like Tubawa, Fulani, and the rest in the Niger Republic are used to this place very, very well. Because even now, you can find their children married to our people here. And we are, therefore, to be used to us is just simple. Because we share the same language.
But that was as far back as 1980, when the Kano Guru train service was in full operation. Today, traders say things are no longer what they were.
Well,
a lot of things have happened. If you look at this market, it is not what it used to be. This market used to be a hub of trading activities, especially for cattle and other domestic animals. Yet we thank God, because things are moving, we are still doing our businesses as usual. The lack of capital, recent security challenges courtesy of Boko Haram insurgency and banditry in some part of Nigeria's northwest region, as well as the nation's general economic hardship, as some of the factors responsible for the dwindling activities in this market. You know, we have so many people from different parts of the country that are coming into this market. During when we are having security challenges, we had a series of problems. But we thank God now things are getting better, even though we don't have enough capital to sustain the business. But with the recent improvement in security situation across Yobe State, traders say things appeared to have been getting better, and traders from all over the country are once again trooping here for business. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
Now, Nigeria's economic diversification agenda has come a very long way over the decades. Efforts by successive governments to increase revenue from non-oil sectors have not yet yielded tangible results, and the continuous over-reliance of proceeds from crude oil continues. Yusuf Akogu in this report highlights the steps taken so far and the challenges that lie ahead.
Economic growth and development require multiple sources of revenue. This will make more money available for government to cater for its expenditures. However, Nigeria's effort to shift revenue focus to non-oil sector has remained a major challenge.
We are doing this, of course, to generate jobs or to create jobs. We are doing this to increase industrialization. We are doing this to get foreign exchange. We are doing this to cope this incessant case of youth restiveness. And these are some of the things we are doing because, well, we have to face the federal government. The president, when he came on board, from his body language, you know he means business. So everybody has to sit up and know that they mean business.
For Director General of the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, the export of agricultural commodities such as cocoa, cashew, sesame seed, palm oil and other tropical products present a tremendous opportunity to earn foreign exchange and strengthen the national currency, the Naira.
Most importantly, getting us to add value, get more value for the money. We'll be selling items as we export them overseas. And this is exactly in line with what the present administration is doing, encouraging exports, get value addition in that process.
Despite the incentive provided by the Export Promotion Council, exporters are faced with numerous challenges.
We should be well equipped with funds as an empowerment for us to be able to do our business the way we should do it. Then the policies of exports in Nigeria has to be reformed and properly placed so that things will work out well.
Diversifying Nigeria's economy and increase export activities are crucial steps toward achieving sustainable development and reducing the country's vulnerability to global economic fluctuations. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Bringing you up to date now with some of the developments on the international scene. Guinea-Bissau's government has ordered the suspension of teachers' salaries to weed out fraudulent claims on the payroll from fictitious workers. The tiny West African country that depends largely on external aid to meet salaries in the education sector has declared a war on ghost civil servants in order to curb its wage bill. Now, the decision will affect some 8,000 teachers in the country's primary and secondary schools who earn an average of 50,000 CFAs per month, which is roughly about $86. The decision drew threats of action from a teachers' union. The International Monetary Fund, which reached a staff-level agreement for a $3.1 million extended credit facility for Guinea-Bissau in May, says the government missed 3 of its 8 economic reform targets that were due in March. One of the missed targets was a ceiling on wages. In sports, Red Bull's Sergio Perez crashed on his very first lap of practice at the Hungarian Grand Prix. The Mexican put his outside wheels on the grass when turning in the turn 5 hairpin and spun into the wall. Now, Perez's error prevented the other drivers from getting any dry running as rain started to fall during the red flag period called to recover the damaged Red Bull. Mercedes' George Russell was fastest with McLaren's Oscar Piastri in second. Fernando Alonso had been fastest in the Aston Martin before pitting a few minutes before the end of the session with the track conditions still improving. Only 11 drivers set lap times, and championship leader Max Verstappen and Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton were not among them. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to follow us across our social media platforms for more content, and for more news, do feel free to check out our website, trusttv.com. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.